Welcome to Rick's Corner. You know, I like to talk about a lot of subjects on this show, and I don't think I'm ever going to run out. I have so much history and so many things that I've seen in the past, not just bodybuilding, but wrestling and acting and the whole ball of wax, that I just never run out of stories. There's just so many stories to tell, and the silly thing is that I remember every one of them. Like, how do you remember all this stuff? I don't know, I just do. But now I'm writing for Huffington Post. Under the sports section, I'm writing about bodybuilding and all the things I've done on this show. I put into actual articles, and it's doing very, very well. But people have written into me and they said, Rick, you haven't discussed the antics you guys pulled with girls back in those days and what the sexual things like back in the 70s. I thought I did mention it, but maybe I didn't really go into detail about it. The 70s were very, very unique, very unlike today, very unlike any time, because 70s was like the hippie time, the hippie era, and especially in Venice, everybody was a hippie, and you know, this is the way things were, the way you dressed, the Volkswagens, the free love, smoking weed, going to parties. It was just totally different. And as far as the women went, I grew up in a small town, and I dated quite a few, and I was in a rock band. And yeah, I had my share of girlfriends back then because I was a good-looking young guy, and I played the guitar at all the dances, and it was easy, definitely easy. And then when you go into bodybuilding, it's a whole different group of people that hang around you. And they're admirers of what you've done with your body. And of course, the girls go crazy over it because they don't see many guys like that back in those days. And you kind of have your pick of the litter. And I'm going to come back to this in 1 second. But then you go into professional wrestling like I did, and then you have a whole other group. And they call them ring rats. A term that means these are the girls that hang around the ring when you're wrestling, and after the match, they want to go home with you. And oh my God, I mean, there's at least 6, 7, 8 of them waiting by the dressing room for you. I was bodybuilding as well, and I remember one night I was in, I think it was Alabama, and I had finished a show, and everybody was leaving, and I was coming out of the dressing room. I see this nice young-looking girl, short blonde hair, sitting there, really, really cute. And I said, I think everybody's left, honey. Are you waiting for somebody? And she says, yeah, I'm waiting for you. Really? She says, yeah, I wanted to meet you and go out with you. So we went out and hit it. And went to eat, and I had a really nice time. And it was just so easy, it was ridiculous. But this is what it was like with wrestling. It didn't seem to matter where I went, any arena, at any city, in any state, they were waiting. And this was a known fact with all the wrestlers. This is what they had. It was just like rock stars. You know, this was like I was in a rock band. Same deal. But bodybuilding too. Now, bodybuilding wasn't always an event. In fact, the contest, I don't think much went on as far as meeting women for me. It was more at the beach. And living down in Santa Monica or Venice, they're both the same. They're within a mile apart. I don't know if you guys know that. But Santa Monica was the original Muscle Beach, and then Venice became the second Muscle Beach because that's where Gold's Gym was. Well, you'd go and you lay out in the sand, and women are walking by, and you'd make a comment, and they look at you, and next thing you know, you're talking, and next thing you're going home with them. It was really that easy. And then Gold's Gym wasn't really open for women because it was owned by Joe Gold, and he made it for the bodybuilders to train. However, there's a lot of women bodybuilders back then. Not a lot, but some. And some of the women who joined the gym, there was 2 or 3 that came in there, they'd hang out with the guys, and not that they were really doing anything much with them, but they shared the same shower. And I think I've said this before. I was up in the shower room, and next thing I know, I hear someone say, could you hand me the soap? Because they had little containers of the soap. And I turned around, it was a woman about 6 feet tall, a young girl, and she's showering right next to me. Nothing happened, but I mean, it was kind of like, I'm not used to this. I'm used to showering alone, right? So this was a known fact in the gym at the time. This would happen. And when the gym changed hands, and another owner took charge of down, I think 2 owners later, I'm not going to name names, but he was in the porn industry, and very well known, and he had the money to buy the gym and put it on the map doing a contest. Well, they had a steam room, not a steam room, a sauna room, and we'd go down there and sit in there just to sweat, or if I had a flu bug, I'd go down there and lay out. And the guys that pull the girls off the beach, and they go in the sauna room and have sex with them. This was something that happened. So I'm in there one day, and I'm trying to sweat out the flu, and here he comes with this girl he met off the beach, and he's bringing her in there, and they're doing everything right next to me. So I said, it was getting hot, and it was getting smelly, and I had to leave. But this actually happened, and this is what it was like back then. I would mention to you, I think in some of my shows, that we'd go to the marina at night. Now, the marina is only 1 mile from the gym. The marina, I just had dinner down there last week. They had Chuck's Steakhouse, they have the Chart House, they had Donkin's Inn, they have Captain's Wharf. They're nice big restaurants, clubs, and they have dancing, and they have a bar. Well, back in those days, it attracted big crowds of people. You had women come down to the beach from all over Los Angeles, Pasadena, Glendale, Burbank, the Valley. They'd all come down on Friday, Saturday nights to hang out, drink, dance, and meet guys. So we would go over at night after we worked out, and we'd put some nice clothes on and go in there, and the women would just drop. They'd look at us and say, oh my God, look at those guys' bodies. Oh my God, I've never seen like that before. And we're kidding with them, and I didn't drink, so I just get a glass of soda water and carry it around. But we'd meet them, and this is really funny. I'd pull them out by where the bouncer was with the light, put them under the light and see how they looked, because in dark you can't really tell. You know, they didn't pass the test. They went right back in. We threw them back in, like throwing fish back into the ocean. It was really funny. And then around maybe midnight, 12:30, we'd meet somebody and start talking to them. Pretty next thing we knew, they were going back to their place. We're going with them. This would happen every weekend. Well, you'd be there for a couple hours, and at the end of the evening, when you're done with them, they would end up making you breakfast and eggs and biscuits and jam, and you're hungry. They want to feed you, and then they send you home, or you can stay if you want. I always want to go home. I like my own bed. My motto is be in bed by 10 and home by midnight. So this happened every weekend. All of us would go out and do that. I remember a couple of guys in the gym, one of who's passed away already, would always put a tape recorder under the bed when he went out with some girl at night, and he'd bring it back in the gym and play it next day with her screaming, making all these noises. We'd just sit there and laugh. This was a screwy time, man. This was fun. This all happened in the gym the next day, and we talk about it. And sometimes it made relationships that lasted. You meet somebody really nice, and it would last, but for the most part, it was going out that evening, get one, hit it, and go. And this was just the way it was back in the golden era, and it was a lot of fun. I haven't seen anybody from back then since, really. I tried to see if I could find somebody I might have known, but with women, they get married and they change their names, so you can't really look them up. But this is what it was like. This is what we did. We would just meet them everywhere. You'd go to Century City shopping, and you go out with a clerk behind the counter that sold you a shirt. Oh, where'd you get those muscles? Oh, I want to feel them. Can I feel them? Oh, no, you can't feel them unless you go out with me, and then I might let you touch. So you guys asked me what it was like back then, and that's pretty much what it was like. I'm a type of guy that I meet somebody and I settle in on a relationship, and I'll stay there for a couple of years. And I met one girl in the marina one night, and I'd seen her prior to that about a week earlier at I think it was Coco's restaurant. And I said to a friend of mine, I said, that girl is really cute. And boy, if I could meet her, I'd be thrilled. And she looked like Jennifer Aniston then. So I saw her looking, and then I saw a wedding ring, and I thought, oh shit, that's not going to work. So I saw her the following week in the marina, and I was with Arnold and a few of the guys. And I said, that girl over there, I just saw her last week. I think I know her. So I went up to her and I said, did I see you at the restaurant like last week? And she goes, oh no, that wasn't me. I said, that was you. She says, no, it wasn't. And I walked away, and she says, hey. I said, what, come here. What? She says, it was me. I said, well, oh my God, I wanted to meet you, but you're wearing a wedding ring. She says, don't bother with that. I worry that to keep guys away. So sit here and talk to me. So we ended up going out after to a little coffee place that had something to eat, and next night we went out for a date and ended up dating her for 2 years. So until she kept bombarding me about wanting to get married, and I said, no, I'm not too young for this stuff. I don't want to do that. But that's what it was like. Arnold dated a girl named Barbara. He met at a deli, and he dated her for 8 years. So eventually you would find somebody who that was it, and you would just do it and last for a long, long time. And then the other ones that you met before would come around knocking on your door and say, not now, someone's here. Anyway, you guys asked me what it was like, and that's exactly what it was like. And things change over time. There's a lot of stories the other guys have, I'm sure, but I observed most of it, and if I could go back and do it again, I would. I would definitely go back and do it again. I had a really good time, and there's always 2 or 3 that get away, and you think, oh my God, let's go back and get them now. Now it's, 40 years later? I don't think I'd want to see them now. I can't imagine what they might look like. Anyway, I'm glad I shared that with you. It was sitting on my mind, and someone had asked for it, and here you have it. And thanks again for watching Rick's Corner, and I'll see you guys next week when I start doing some more shows. It's the weekend now, so I'm taking off. Bye-bye. Stay tuned.
rickdrasin.com. He is the equalizer, baby. See you next time.